So welcome back and welcome in particular to this session, this Origami Taster session. My name is Alice and I'm the community fundraiser at Target Ovarian Cancer. I'm thrilled to welcome Dr. Lizzie Burns to join us today. She is here to help us all understand how origami can be really beneficial for well-being and self-care, and also to give us a quick taster by teaching us how to make a couple of pieces. I'll introduce Lizzie properly in a moment and then hand over to her, but before that I just have a few practicalities that I want to take you all through today. So this session is taking place as a Zoom meeting, and this means that you do have the option to turn your camera on if you'd like to do so, and you can do that using the toolbar at the bottom of the video screen. But please be aware that we are recording this session so that we can share the video later on. And we're doing this so that anyone who's not able to join us live, or for example, is in one of the different taster sessions at the moment, is able to watch this session back later. And it also means that if any of you would like to watch it back later and have another go, then you can do that as well. We will do our best to remove any personal information from the recordings, but this may not always be possible because this is an interactive session. So if you would prefer not to appear in the recording, we would suggest that you just keep your camera off. If you'd like to ask any questions as we go or share your thoughts, you can use the chat function on the right-hand side of your screen, and that's the chat box that you see in Feedloop, the digital platform. Or you can also unmute yourself and ask your question. If you do that, please just remember to switch your microphone back off again after you've finished asking your question. And this is just to make sure that we avoid any feedback. Before we start, I'd like to ask you all to remember that everyone here has different circumstances and different situations. And things you may hear might be relevant to you or your loved one, but they might not. And likewise, everyone is at different stages and coping differently. So please keep this in mind and respect everyone's views and concerns. We want to ensure that this session is a safe and positive space for everyone that takes part. If you're taking part as a friend or family member, we ask that you don't share any information about your loved one's specific circumstances without their knowledge and their permission. Anything that comes out of this session is not medical advice and is not a substitute for the information and advice that you've been given by your own clinical team. If anything comes up today that you aren't sure about what it means for you or for your loved one, or you have any other questions or concerns, then please call our nurse-led support line to get more information, and we'll share that number to call in the chat. If at any point you feel that you need to take a break, please feel free to do so. As I mentioned, we are recording this session and that recording will be available afterwards, so you can always rewatch or catch up on anything that you miss. So I will now introduce to you the wonderful Dr. Lizzie Burns. Lizzie completed a doctorate and research fellowship in cancer research at the University of Oxford. She then became a full-time science-based artist and communicator, combining her backgrounds in science, art, and teaching to develop workshops and events for people of all ages. She now works part-time for University College Hospital in London, providing support for patients and staff in oncology. And she has a YouTube channel where she shares a new origami fold every single week. And we will also pop the link to that in the chat. So I would highly recommend that you have a look at that if you enjoyed today's session, which I'm sure you will. Lizzie has written about how origami can help with well-being in the British Medical Journal, and she is a member of the British Origami Society. So I hope you will all agree with me that we're very, very lucky to have Lizzie with us today. And without any further ado, I'm now going to hand over to Lizzie.
Many thanks, Alice. Much appreciated. Lovely introduction. I'm so excited about this session today. So yes, you've already heard a lovely introduction from Alice, that I work in University College Hospital 1 day a week with patients and staff. Over this time, obviously, it's been challenging, and I think well-being's more important than ever. And actually, origami works extremely well online. We can feel lovely and close and together, but through folding paper, doing something that's quite physical, actually. And you can make something beautiful out of an everyday material. just to show you actually where I started, and the photograph that you've already seen is of this bunch of flowers, right? This bunch of flowers, believe it or not, is close to 10 years old now. They look so fresh and beautiful still. And I ended up learning origami because although I was working as a creative specialist, encouraging people to do something creative in support of their well-being, most people are a little bit lacking the confidence to draw and paint. And it was actually one patient who I visited, and she said, "Lizzie, not that keen on drawing. Visit me next week and I'm going to teach you something, and I want you to learn and to pass it on because I think it will help others." Now, I actually don't really remember doing much origami as a child, which is quite unusual. But what she taught me was to fold these flowers, and she would make bunches of flowers in hospital. So she would make bunches to thank healthcare workers, family, friends, and she just found it was a really positive, focused activity to make something beautiful, which would make everyone smile. And they're lasting as well. So that's where I started. I have continued and continued. I've actually been designing my own. I've been doing many things. Also, just over this time, we created a little origami inspiration leaflet with folds in there. 25, thanks to support from the lottery, 25,000 copies went to hospitals across the UK. So just trying to bring some care, and I hope you will experience this soon as we'll grab a piece of paper and find out what it's like to do some origami. There's nothing like doing it. So grab yourself some paper. Got some, I just figured most people would have A4 paper. If you have A5 paper, like a pad, that's perfect actually, because we're just going to use half a piece of paper to do 2 things actually. We may even do 3 things in this time, we'll see. So actually my 3 rules for origami. My first rule is be really exact. If you start well, it continues well. Start badly, it gets worse and worse. So it's attention to detail, but we'll go very slowly. And when we go slowly, it's relaxing. My second rule is give good, strong folds, because the folds actually give it the strength. If it's loose, it starts to unravel. It's also relaxing to add really strong folds. So you use your fingers. If you have nails, you can use them. If you don't, it doesn't matter using your fingers. My third rule, it's not really a rule, but just remember it's meant to be fun. So don't take it too seriously. And if you do something that's different, hey, you're an inventor. So that is actually the way to invent things. So I'm going to grab something to press on. We don't even need scissors, but it will be really fun, I think, to decorate these pieces. So I'm just going to take the A4 piece of paper. Thank you. And Alice is accompanying us as well. So it gives me a feel as to what speed we're going. All I'm going to do first of all is just basically divide the paper in half, because we actually just want an A5 piece of paper. So I've lined up those corners nicely. I've given a good strong fold at the back there. And as I said, it's quite relaxing adding that nice fold. If you like things to be kind of neat and tidy, this is a really nice thing to do. I think also we feel stressed when things are out of our control. So doing something very controlled really helps bring a little bit of order to our minds that we need. And it's just paper. So I folded it in half. Now, if you've given a good strong fold, then you should be able to give a little tiny nick. And then hold your hand, do this definitely on a solid surface, hold your hand close to that edge, and you should be able to tear that off. Just go carefully and slowly and keep your hand close to that edge. There we go. I've ended up loving this sort of slightly torn edge. This, you can see the little fibres there of the trees. It's the word origami means, ori means fold and gami means paper. And paper is a very precious material. So we're actually just going to use half our A5 paper. So we're going to divide it in half again. And actually over this time, as mentioned, I've started experimenting and inventing my own. And it's sort of just seeing where things take me. It's great fun. Things might not work, but does it matter? Maybe it will work. Maybe something you didn't expect could emerge. So again, I'm just dividing this A5 paper. I guess it's now becoming A6, isn't it? So here we go. I'm going to use just one of these for now. Put your other piece aside. So, because I think this looks nice and small, actually. So we've got now, it looks like a little mini A4, it's a little A6. And we're going to make a square. So much origami is based on squares. The second fold actually won't be, but we're going to make a square. And this is good experience for you to know how to make your own paper to use for origami. So we're going to take a corner and we're going to bring it down, lining up. I guess it's that short edge and lining it up along the long edge. I was saying to Alice actually last week, I was invited to go on BBC Radio 5 Live and teach origami on the radio. It's very hard. And I might teach you at the end what it is that we made. So anyway, if we lined it up, even something like this can be tricky. So we're now going to remove this rectangle. So we're going to turn it over, lift up this little flap and bring it back, lining up carefully and pressing it down. Again, just take your time, enjoy the feel of the paper, that we're doing something in our hands together. It's not just watching a screen, you're doing something. Looks a little bit like a Robin Hood's hat. So we just want to get rid of this rectangle. So I'm going to turn it over. And again, a little nick there along our very strong fold. And again, put your hand nice and close to that edge. You should be able to just gently tear that off. You could obviously cut that off, but actually if you do a good strong fold, the fold and the tearing is actually quite accurate. So you should have a square with a diagonal fold across it. And I'm saying, how are you getting on there, Alice? Excellent, excellent. So as you've got it, we opened it up. It looks good. Now we're going to do the other diagonal, but just a pinch in the middle. That's all. So we're going to take those corners. I recommend you do it on the surface. I end up doing it in the air because it's a way I can say hello to you at the same time. I'm lining up these corners and I'm doing a little pinch in the middle. There's so many things you can do with origami. Like anyone has paper. That's it. Thank you, Alice. And then opening it up and it's showing you a halfway line. That's all. Okay, so we're going to get making now. Feels like what we've done is a few folds. We're going to take the top and we're going to bring it to the middle point. So taking that top, and you can see where that halfway point is. That's where you're going. So this is a traditional fold, and it's lovely to think that this has been passed on through generations. It would be from Japan. And actually, yeah, I was reading about the philosophy of origami. I really love this idea. It's about honouring the paper. You're taking your time and your care. I think as well, when you're taking time and care, you're taking time and care for you, and that's really needed. I don't know about you, but I find it hard to relax by not doing things. I need to do something to relax. So anyway, we've got our point in the middle there. Next step, we're going to take the very bottom point and bring it all the way up to the top and keep it in the middle. So we're taking that bottom point and bringing it all the way up to the top, keeping it in the middle. And when you're happy it's in the right position, squashing down at the bottom there. There we go. I've kept it a mystery as to what this is, haven't I? It's deliberate. I like a little bit of surprise. There we go. So it's looking sort of wider at the bottom. Soonish you'll start to see what it is that we're making. So we're going to take this lower side and we're going to take this side and bring it up to the vertical line. I'm not going to say lefts and rights because it can be a different way around, but we're going to take one side, doesn't matter which side, and then bring it up vertically along that line and squashing it down. Could still be many things, couldn't it? There we go. So all nice and lined up. That's it. Brilliant. Lovely. So as you've got it, we're going to take the other side and do the same thing. So this lower side, we're going to bring up to that vertical line. I think you'll start to see what it is we're making. It's been my favourite fold over this time. There's nothing like seeing everybody holding their hearts together to make you feel a little bit happier. Great. Thank you. So it looks like a heart, but it's a bit pointy, isn't it? It's a bit pixelated. Let's soften our heart. So to do that, just take the top point and then fold it back. There's a top point, folding it back. And the same, just tucking it away. No one needs to see the back, do they? So the top points, but the sides are still looking a bit pointy too. So it's the same thing, taking the side and again, just tucking it back a little bit. And there you have got hopefully a beautiful heart. And this is something obviously nice to put up to remember to care for yourself. It represents your self-care time. Maybe be nice for gifts. Yeah, excellent. Shall we have a quick decoration of it as well? Yeah. So practicing earlier, I was just playing around. So you could do, very gently shaded. Here I just started scribbling with almost half running out felt tips, and it worked really well. So I recommend or maybe words in there that could inspire you. Yeah, words that could motivate you, things that are important to you, or just doodle and add colours that you enjoy. I'm going to have a quick little doodle, see what happens. It would be, as Alice mentioned, if you wish to, at the end of a bit of colouring, do feel free to share. We'd love to see what you're doing. It's also fine if you don't want to as well. Make some nice little...
Oh, sorry, Lizzie.
Sorry, Alice.
I was going to turn their cameras on and show us what they've made. That would be lovely.
Has it worked for anyone? You might all be shy now. Oh, wow.
Oh, thank you, everyone. They look wonderful.
Oh, it's nice to see, isn't it? Yeah. I was just thinking it'd make nice heart bunting, wouldn't it? Oh, lovely to see yours, Wendy, Francesca. Lovely. Really nice to see the hearts. Excellent. Beautiful. Oh, you're decorating. I like hearts within hearts. That's really nice. Yay. And you could keep working on that, adding colours. Fantastic. What do you reckon, Alice? Did we want a bit more time decorating, or shall we move on to the next one? It's up to you.
Maybe give everyone a couple of minutes just
to
do some
colouring.
Oh, thank you, Catherine. That looks lovely.
Oh, brilliant.
I've only got a gold pen, so whatever it is, it'll go.
Oh, gold's perfect for a heart. Definitely. Now, I've ended up loving running out felt tips. You can get really good effects. I think my highlighter's beginning to go, but you can then start really shading and playing around with things. So, a bit of doodling. With colour. So your hearts are now really unique. It's a nice thing to combine a bit of drawing with origami. This has been one actually which I've had even young children beginning to memorise even, so it can be something you could memorise. Obviously good exercise for your brain. But it's not too many steps, so it is possible. Yeah, you can make a nice card. This you could stick it quite well on the back, couldn't you? Some glue, and that would be lovely to send to a friend. Messages on it.
Wonderful. Thank you so much, Lizzie. Shall we move on to the next piece now?
Yes. So the next fold, I'm actually going to show you this one, so you know this time what it is we're going to make. So we're going to make a beautiful butterfly bookmark, which has been designed by Ralph Matthews. So it looks lovely. Again, I've enjoyed the slightly running out felt tips, but just to show you how it works, it's a really good bookmark. In fact, this will be your best bookmark because it really can't fall out. So here's an example. Your sort of butterfly will fly into the page and just sit nicely on the corner. So it sort of snuggles over the corner. So it's a really nice way of marking where you are. And it's just really special. The book you're reading, that you've made your own little special mark. Again, this can make a really lovely present for others as well. Definitely, this one is for you, but with time you might find yourself wanting to make more. You can go back to the video. So these could be nice presents. So I'm going to take my other... Do you remember we had our A4 paper? We divided it in half to A5 and we made two little halves. Again, actually, I'm going to use the A6. So just a little piece. That's great. And actually, we're not going to make a square for this one. It's unusual and quite nice because we don't have to make a square at all. In fact, it won't work with a square. So have your little piece of paper. I hope you've all got that. That's right, we're going to put it in a landscape position, and in a moment we'll fold halfway down. So this is going to be our first step. So we're going to take one side and fold it over, making a rectangle. Again, I recommend you do it on a solid surface. Just make sure everything's lined up. Strong fold. So I took my piece of paper and I folded it in half. That's right, great. Now actually keep it in half. It's like a nice little card at the moment. Yeah. So we're going to make our card a bit stronger. So we're going to fold it in half again. So we're going to take our piece and fold it across. And Alice, you've also been folding over this time, haven't you? Been practicing these. Have you found it relaxing, changes with time?
I've tried a few, yeah, I've really enjoyed it. So here's a big one I made earlier, in true Blue Peter style. And I did colour this one in, but I don't think you can see it very well with my with
very
my
subtle.
but,
Yeah.
but no, I have been really enjoying it and finding it really relaxing. So I hope everyone in this session will be finding it the same as well.
Oh, yes, it requires quite a bit of concentration, doesn't it, really? I think that's also what's really good about it. So we fold it in half and then in half again. So hopefully, is it looking like that for you? Great. And if you have that open bit at the bottom, so we're going to work on just one side first of all. So one side, I want you to take one side, put your fingers in, spread it out, and it's looking a bit like a little house. Right, definitely get your fingers in to get rid of any wrinkles and squash it down. So it was like this, open at the side, and I'm holding on to just this one side, putting my fingers in and squashing it down so it all lines up in the middle, and it looks sort of like a little house, maybe. Great, that's it. Thank you as well, Alice. Again, make sure it's really lined up. Mine's not, so I'm going to. The great thing with paper is you can reposition until you're happy. There we go. Are you all happy? Have you all managed to do that? So it was like this, open one side, put my fingers in, squashed it down. That's it. All right, it's a bit like leaves of a book. I'm going to close that up. And I'm going to do the same on the other side. So this side, again, I'm going to put my fingers in, squash it down. It's lined up in the middle. And again, squashing down. That's it. Right. That works for you. Great. I mean, the good thing is you can go back to this video, slow me down, or turn me back, whatever. If you then turn the page, hopefully, oh, sorry, no, keeping it as you've got it there. And then if you turn to the back and also turning the page so it looks the same, can you see then you've got a little gap between the two? Yeah, so just keep turning the pages until it's sort of the same at front and back, and it has this nice little gap, like little legs there. Great. So our next step, we're going to take the inside corner and we're going to bring it up at an angle. I'm bringing up both layers and I am doing it so that it sort of touches down there. Here we go. Can you see I've brought that up down there, down to the bottom of the paper. Definitely good to press down on a solid surface. There we go. Lovely. And now if you do the same thing on the other side so that they match, again, bringing that up. There we go. Looks a bit, I don't know, it's reminding me of a bow tie at the moment, or an upside down heart. Many things it could be. So hopefully, is it looking a bit like that for you? Great. Excellent. So we need to actually get rid of this flap. So we're going to undo one and we're going to go to put your fingers into that slot to open it up. It's all so 3D, isn't it? What we want to do is we're going to shove that little bit that you've just folded inside itself so it's tucked away. So I'm going to lift that up. You can see there, lifting it up. I'm not adding any extra lines, but I'm just tucking it away. Did that make sense? So 3D. I so want to be able to get my fingers through. So it was down there. I brought it down, put my fingers in, and I'm lifting it inside itself so it's all tucked away neatly. And then the same on the other side. So bringing that down, pop your fingers into that pocket, and again tucking that in on itself. We're not adding any extra lines, but we're just getting rid of it. We're almost there. I know it doesn't look like it. Hopefully. Great. Right, so yes, turn it the other way up as Alice has got, so it looks like a heart, kind of. And our butterfly will reveal itself, hopefully. So we're going to take just one side and take this top and bring it down. Can you see the top half, and bringing it down along that vertical line? And doing the same on the other side. There we go. So hopefully you've got what looks like a sort of big tropical butterfly. Amazing, out of just a quarter of an A4 piece of paper. It looks pretty big, doesn't it? And you'll find, if you look on the back, there's this pocket, and it's that will become the bookmark bit. Yes. So you should be able to take your piece and it will sort of fly into your book. But let's quickly decorate. Goodness, we've only got a few minutes left. I hope the time has flown like this butterfly, but let's get quickly decorating. Alice, I don't know if you want to say anything else.
Just if anyone wants to turn on their cameras and show us their pieces again, that would be really
I'd
lovely.
love to see your butterfly.
We can just all have a quick look.
Hope it's worked.
There you go.
Oh, brilliant.
Oh,
wow. Fantastic. Ooh, I like the red paper there. Very nice. And some decoration. Fantastic. And hopefully that can be, yeah, just really nice. Well, get colouring. I can't do it upside down into a camera. I can fold, but it turns out I can't really
I was
colour.
very impressed at you folding in mid-air, Lizzie. I think I would find that very difficult.
These are the skills I've learnt over lockdown. Yeah. I mean, at first it really hurt my head, but like anything, it gets easy with time. And I think if anything, that's what creativity is about, having a fun, playful attitude to overcoming change. And that's so much what you're having to do. But hey, let's have a bit of, let's do things which are fun and playful, and that makes it much better for everybody, especially for yourself.